The last stop of our journey was Burag Secondary School on the outskirts of Kathmandu. Our Nepalese friends were excited to see our Samulnori performance, which we had practiced very hard. In return, they presented us with a Nepalese traditional performance. Through this cultural exchange, we became friends. That's how our 18-day journey ended. The most unforgettable moments of our Himalayan expedition. Let's turn back time to the moment when we first saw the Himalayas. On the first morning of the new year, we gathered at Incheon Airport. We had to get up early that day. Some of us didn't sleep at all. We are the members of the Himalayan expedition, determined to take on a new challenge.
최선을 다해서 뒤처지지 말고. 응? 에이, 뭐. 다녀오겠습니다. 정말로 한 사람도 다치지 말고 다 잘 갔다 와, 알았지?
It's the time when we must be busy studying hard to pass college entrance exams. But we boldly closed our textbooks and headed to the Himalayas instead, because we wanted to know what that vast land holds for us.
설레기도 하고요. 바깥 풍경도 너무 예뻐서 내가 진짜 출국했구나라는 생각도 들고
다들 건강 무사히 잘 다녀올 수 있을지 약간 걱정이 되기도 해요.
꿈을 크게 펼칠 수 있는 그런 김지원이 될 수 있을 것 같아요.
Our plane headed to Kathmandu of Nepal. In Kathmandu, we switched to a light plane to Khumbu, Himalaya, and had to fly 1 more hour. Our plane arrived in a small airport surrounded by mountains. We landed on a narrow runway. The moment the doors of the plane opened, we felt nervous to be in a strange land. This is the gateway to Khumbu Himalaya trekking. This place is easy to reach these days, but in the past, before an airport was built here, visitors had to take a bus and walk for about a week. That's how remote it is. Upon arrival, we checked our oxygen saturation.
91, 105.
The average level is 80. If it's lower than that, you may develop mountain sickness. People usually feel mountain sick at 3,000 meters above sea. Luke Airport is located 2,800 meters above sea. That's already something to worry about.
지금 여러분 간식 이거 봤죠? 왜 이리 뺑글뺑글하겠어? 여러분들 몸도 똑같아요. 이렇게 부풀어 있어. 평지기압에서 이게 포장이 되었는데 우리도 평지기압에 있던 사람이 올라오면은 우리 몸이 현재 똑같이 이렇게 돼 있단 말이야.
Finally, our journey began. Our goal today is reaching Pakding. We walk slowly, trying to become acclimated to the air in the high-lying area. It was our first day in the Himalayas. but our hearts beat with passion. Even a brief walk left us short of breath because of the lack of oxygen. Less than 10 minutes after our journey began, Juna began to vomit all of a sudden. Juna developed mountain sickness way too early. She looked pale. We were so confused that we became speechless. Juna did her best to endure the pain, but eventually she had to take rest and catch up later. Looking around, we saw how ordinary Nepalese lived. 90% of the locals are farmers. The majority of them grow potatoes. Small potatoes grow well in high-lying areas. After a short break, we resumed our journey. Our bodies and minds felt heavy. Sopgyos helped us carry our heavy bags. Sopgyos are the crossbreeds between yaks and cows. Unlike yaks, which only live at 3,000 meters above sea and higher, Sopgyos live at 1,000 meters to 6,000 meters above sea. On our way, we stopped by a traditional Nepalese house.
이 2층짜리 집인데요. 여기 1층에는 약 키우고 사람 생활하는 거는 2층이에요. 우리가 이제 2층에 가서 봐야 됩니다. 머리 조심하세요. 어두우니까요. 잘 안 보여요.
We were surprised to learn that people and cattle lived in the same house. Three generations have lived in this house. The word Sherpa usually refers to guides of mountaineering expeditions, but originally it's the name of an ethnic group from Nepal's most mountainous region.
여기 셰르파족 천탕집인데요. 한 방에서 다 모든 거 다 해요. 음식 같은 거 이 아궁이에서 해 먹고요. 그래서 여기 나이 많은 사람은 침대에서 자고 나머지 분은 여기도 있고요. 잠자리 여기도 있고요. 여기도 있습니다. 그래서 모든 거 자기가 이제 생활할 수 있는 물건이 다 여기 다 들어 있어요.
This place is equipped with all daily necessities, albeit a bit outdated. Surprisingly enough, these people use yak feces as fuel.
먹는 수차라고요. 여기서 끓여갖고 그 통 있어요. 이 통에다가 넣어갖고요. 버터 조금 넣고 소금 조금 넣고 그래서 우유 조금 넣고 일단 볶아요. 통 나오고 이제 조금
The ingredients are pounded until mixed thoroughly. One of our members tried pounding, but it turned out to be more difficult than we thought.
비슷한 거 감자 여기 히말라야 여기보다 더 높은 지역은 버터 같은 거 많이 넣어요. 기름기가 많이 있어야 돼요. 왜냐면 칼로리 있는 음식이 없잖아요. 여기 주식이 감자 있기 때문에 다른 음식이 없잖아요.
Sherpa's traditional tea looks like soft milk tea.
안전할까요? 리누스 라이키 컵.
The friendly woman treated us to tea. We were very curious about its taste.
수지야. 여기 말로 민족마다 말이 많잖아요.
It tasted too salty to us.
인사하면 다시 돼.
We had much to see and try on the first day of our journey. We ended up climbing at night. After a night of climbing, we finally arrived at Pakding Lodge, our first destination. One day felt like one year.
산행이 힘든 것보다요. 몸은 힘들지 않은데 그냥 여기가 히말라야라는 것 그 자체가 그냥 되게 두려웠어요.
앞으로 남은 10몇 일 동안 저희가 잘 해낼 수 있을지 걱정돼요. 되게 낙오되는 대원들도 하나둘씩 생기는 것 같고요.
Instead of being excited about reaching our first goal, we were scared and anxious. That's because Juna hasn't arrived yet. She was soon brought by a Sherpa on his back. Our team doctor provided her with emergency treatment. Juna was severely exhausted. Mountain sickness, which we never thought of as a big deal, suddenly looked like the biggest threat to us. That night, we took time to learn more about it.
제일 중요한 거는 등반 속도. 그래서 천천히 가라 그래도 천천히 가야 돼. 왜냐면 우리가 그 서울이나 이런 데서 이게 빨리 걸으면 숨 차고 그래도 계속 숨 쉬면 되는데 여기는 숨을 쉬어도 압력이 낮기 때문에 사망한대요.
We were terrified to learn that so far, 3 people had died of mountain sickness.
그러니까 전체 등반객의 40%가 이제
The next day, our doctor and expedition chief held a meeting.
그다음에 남체까지 가지 말고 우리 갔다 내려올 때까지 루크라까지 내려가서 오늘은 일단 내려가서 거기서 컨디션이 회복이 되면 그러면 카트만두를 해서 한국으로 뺄 것이냐 아니면 루크라에서 좋아지면 천천히 올라올 것이냐 둘 중에 하나 선택하면 됩니다.
구자 같은 경우 올라왔는데 그 회복이 여기까지는 될지 몰라도 여기서부터는 계속 고도가 급격히 상승하는데 그때 다시 악화되면 어떻게 하겠냐는 거지. 또 반복해서 또 내려간다고.
Will Juna be able to continue her journey? The doctor and the expedition chief will decide after checking her condition.
이제 몸살기가 되게 심한 것 같아서 열이 39도 이상 나고 상태가 그 하루 이틀에 금방 확 좋아질 가능성이 많지 않기 때문에 지도교사하고 같이 남아서 좀 안정하고 치료를 하는 길을 이제 우리가 선택을 할 수밖에 없겠습니다. 더워? 덥진 않아.
Unfortunately, Juna's journey ended here. Her luggage, which represented her dreams, looked very lonesome. The first victim of mountain sickness, we all felt heavy-hearted.
절대 서둘러 올라가지 마. 천천히 가라고. 그리고 뭐 상황이 있으면 항상 김 박사님한테도 그렇고 이 얘기를 하세요. 참지 마. 어디 컨디션 안 좋으면. 그래갖고 예방하는 게 가장 좋지. 사후에 처리하면 아주 힘들어. 여기 와서 그냥 처리하면 되니까.
Are we safe from mountain sickness? We were scared. On day 2, we've left Pakding and headed to Namche. This time, the altitude will be 600 meters higher. It's important to maintain good condition. We have to win this battle with mountain sickness. That was the first task that the Himalayas gave us.
형 안녕하세요. 형 오랜만입니다. 예.
이번에 그 안 아프나 고생 많으셨죠?
안 아프나? 괜찮지 뭐.
We were very happy to run into someone from Korea.
산악인이요, 산악인이고 우리나라의 그 최고의 기량을 자랑하는 산악인인데 그때 그 등반 중에 불의의 사고로 몸이 불편하고 근데 지금 히말라야 등반을 계속 해왔고
2년도 형님.
Mountain climber Kim Hong-gil lost his 10 fingers in 1991 when climbing, but it didn't stop him. He uses his mouth and feet instead of fingers because he's as passionate about mountain climbing as ever.
멋진 또 산악인이 나와서 누가 알아요 또 같이 또 등반할 수 있는 기회가 있을지 열심히 하세요.
감사합니다.
His determination and enthusiasm taught us a valuable lesson.
감사합니다.